Good afternoon, everybody. This is Rachel Matta coming to you live from KHTS Radio, and I am here today with Congressman Mike Garcia. How are you doing today, Congressman?
I'm doing good, Rachel. Thanks for having me. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, of course, and I'm happy to hear it. Well, it is Tuesday, March 1st, and the annual State of the Union address is taking place tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern Time and 6 o'clock our time. Congressman, what are you expecting this meeting to hold, and what are you hoping the president will address?
Yeah, actually, very good question. What I'm expecting and what I'm hoping for are probably two different things. What I'm hoping for is for our president, our commander in chief, to outline the challenges that we face as a nation right now, and two things. One, take accountability for it and sort of underline the root cause of how these issues came about, and two, explain to the American people what the solutions are to remedy some of these crises that we're facing. And so that's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping he talks about inflation and then also talks about how we as a nation need to cut spending. I hope he talks about the high energy prices and the fact that we're now seeing $5.50 gas, almost $6 in Southern California, and how we're going to enable American companies so that we're not so dependent on foreign oil. I'm hoping that he's going to explain to us what went wrong in Afghanistan and how we're going to get the rest of Americans out, and explain how we're going to help now our Ukrainian partners hopefully survive as a nation. So that's a sample of what I'm hoping to hear. I'm hoping to hear, hey, why are we in these crises, and what are we doing to fix them? But what I'm expecting to hear is actually him probably trying to take credit for the last 13, 14 months now, and try to highlight any successes that he has had, which honestly I don't think there are too many. I think our nation is an extremist. If there was a single word that if you ask what is the state of the union, the word crisis is truly the word that comes to mind, and not just our country, but it's spreading around the globe now as a result of our weakness. So I'm hoping he takes a little bit of a magnanimous position and actually recognizes that we are not in great shape, and that we have some struggles to work through here, and actually offer some solutions. And this is something that Congress obviously needs to participate in and partner with as well. Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, you should want the country to do better than we currently are. And I think that's the flavor that I'm hoping to see tonight. And we'll see what exactly we get from this president.
That is a great answer, and I too am looking forward to hearing some of the answers to those questions. But I pretty much expect a lot of talking about the coronavirus pandemic as well. With the current California state of emergency order expiring at the end of the month, I know some lawmakers are asking Governor Gavin Newsom to officially end the emergency declaration. Congressman, what are your thoughts, and what do you think this means for Santa Clarita?
Well, it's long overdue, and it's this state of emergency is long in the tooth. And look, I supported the state of emergency early on when we saw some of these spikes in COVID infection and death rates, when we saw our hospitals being inundated. We needed the levers at our disposal to get the resources, not only the money, but also some of the medical resources and some of the decisions to our local businesses to execute those programs correctly. And that's what the state of the emergency provides. It provides the flexibility to move money, to remove red tape and some of the bureaucracy, and it puts a lot of power, in our case, into Governor Newsom's hands. It gives him a lot of flexibility, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as he's being a good steward of it. And I frankly think that it's gone too far. I think it's gone too long. I think the data is showing that we can get back to business as usual, and I think honestly that a lot of these mandates that we've been seeing, especially our kids wearing masks in local schools, I know that's a big thing hitting all of our schools locally in Santa Clarita, as well as the Antelope Valley and Porter Ranch. It doesn't warrant that. We should not be masking our kids right now. We surely should not be kicking our kids out of school if they don't wear their mask. We shouldn't be firing sheriffs right now because they're not getting the vaccines. And we shouldn't be having things like a hiring freeze at the local county level and not allow Sheriff Villanueva would actually hire more cops in the wake of this defund the police movement. And so it is time now to get back to normal. It is time to get through this and allow businesses to reopen fully, allow students to go back to school fully without restrictions. And so I do firmly believe that the state of emergency is over. And I sent a letter to Governor Newsom, as you alluded to get him to adhere to the deadline. And like you said, it turns into a pumpkin at the end of March. And really all we're asking for is, look, just remove all of these provisions and let's get back to the state legislature actually being accountable and responsible for passing laws and spending money. And sort of decentralize the power out of the governor's office in Sacramento, and that's the push we're hoping for. And within a couple of days of our letter, he did announce that he's removing something like 90% of the state of emergency provisions, which is good progress. But it is a lot of power being put into one office and a lot of spending authority that's not getting the oversight from Sacramento and state lawmakers as a result. So we're pushing him to remove all of the elements of the state of emergency here sooner rather than later.
Definitely. And of course, President Biden is and of course, this is all taking place amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The United States, as well as other Western nations, have recently increased sanctions on Russia to basically punish the Russian government and, in a way, hurt their economy. Congressman, what do these sanctions mean for the United States, and will our economy be affected as a result?
Yeah, and unfortunately, sanctions aren't really what is. It's not the full boat, right? It's not actually what is needed in order to dissuade Putin from behaving this way. Putin is a bad guy. He is a bully. He's a tyrant. He has at his disposal one of the largest arsenals of conventional as well as nuclear weapons, and he's clearly abusing that. And what we're seeing in the Ukraine is actually not war. It's actually a genocide of Ukrainians now by the hands of the Russians. And in many cases, the Russian troops don't even know why they're fighting. They don't know why they're there. They don't know. They were expecting to go in with an embrace from the Ukrainians. They are actually texting back home as they're dying. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I didn't know this war was actually real like this. So Putin needs to be hit over the head with a hammer, not treated with kid gloves. And what this administration has done so far has applied some sanctions, and they've put some pressure on the economic side of this to some degree. But they still have not truly removed Russia from the SWIFT banking system, which is how the countries literally get paid and move money around. They still have not stopped buying oil from Russia. And between the United States, the UK, and the rest of the EU, we're spending about $500 million a day on oil that we purchase from Russia. $500 million a day. So $500 million a day, Rachel, still going to Russia. So it's like, if you're trying to punish someone, you don't at the same time incentivize them by buying their number one export, by buying their number one, key product and effectively fund the war that you're saying is wrong. And that's what we're still doing. And these sanctions, they need to be comprehensive. They need to be holistic, and it needs to be a full boycott, divestment, and sanction package that truly puts the boot on the throat of Putin and doesn't enable him financially while we're giving him bad words.
Wow, that was a very powerful answer. If you're just tuning in, this is Rachel Matta with KHTS Radio, and we are currently live here with Congressman Mike Garcia. Congressman, we are coming to a close to the end of our time here today. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, just to our constituents, obviously we remain available as a federal agent's help, right? So if you have issues with the Veterans Administration, Social Security, or the IRS, please reach out. We can help. I will say that our nation is going through a difficult time now, and I am committed to trying to bring solutions to the table that both sides of the aisle can embrace, and solutions that are in the interest of our country, not of a party or political expediency. So this is the spirit that we need. Our country's going through a difficult time. We've gone through difficult times before, and we will survive. But we need to be clear-headed and clear-eyed as we navigate this very tumultuous period of our country's history.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming on here today, and thank you to our viewers for tuning in. This has been Rachel Matta reporting, and I hope you all have an excellent rest of your day.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.